I woke up this morning and it was a very windy day. I went to my window, opened my blinds, I looked outside. The leaves were flying all over, branches were moving from left and right. And I could see that there was a little bit, just a small amount, of snow falling. Not much. It wasn't enough to collect on the ground or to build up any snow, but I could see small hints of it here and there falling from the sky. And then I went to my kitchen to prepare myself some breakfast and to make myself some tea. The tea that I had this morning was raspberry flavored, and I made that, and for my breakfast, I considered making some scrambled eggs, but decided I would eat my dinner or supper, whichever you would call it, as my breakfast. I took up some rice, I added some seasoning, and then I also made a bowl of oatmeal and drank a glass of milk. It was a pretty boring and plain meal, but it got me started for the day. And then I spent the other part of my day just organizing my table area and cleaning my technical pen. I took my Rotring Isograph apart again before I did a drawing, and I took the end of it apart and where the ink goes into the reservoir. I cleaned that all out, and the last drawing I was doing, the pen wasn't working and I had to put more ink into it. And so then I decided to just go ahead and completely clean the whole pen before I put more ink into it, which is something I tend to do. If I run out of ink in the pen, I might as well just clean it since it's about empty. And so then I got the pen all cleaned out and started to do more drawing with it, and my usual abstract doodles that I make. And so I just started drawing, and the sketchbook that I'm drawing in is, I believe it is called, which I have it here beside me, the Fabriano Sketchbook, and this one has the dots in it. It's made in Italy, and it's usually $5.99, but I got it on clearance for $1.49. It reminds me sort of like how the Moleskine sketchbook is, but I think obviously one of the big differences is that the paper is not as much of a yellowish color. It's more of a plain white color, and it's got the dots all over it. So it's kind of like a grid paper, but not with lines, more like dots. I don't really notice them once I've got the drawing complete. You don't really see them a lot before you start drawing because the whole page is just blank and empty, and you look at it and you're like, there's so many dots on here. Is it going to affect how my drawing looks? But with the technical pen, I'm able to get a lot of contrast in it because of the really dark ink against the paper. And I've noticed that with other pens that I draw with, such as, say for example, if I'm doing a drawing with a ballpoint pen or a Sharpie or a gel pen, the ink, no matter how good the quality is, just never as dark as the ink that I get with the Rotring Isograph technical pens, or the Staedtler Mars-O-Matic, which is new, and that one's also a 0.35. And this pen is blue and yellow, whereas the Rotrings are kind of like a brownish red, sort of, but more of a brownish color. I would say that I do prefer the Mars-O-Matic grip on the pen more than I do the Rotring Isograph. But I will be doing a video on the Mars-O-Matic and what I think of how that pen works for doing drawings. But a lot of my drawings, as you can see, I draw organic stuff and a lot of nature-themed things, and that's just what I prefer to make. I have been asked before about, who inspires me to draw and who I look up to. I really don't actually look at much of other artists at all. I just create how I want, and I don't really worry about all that. I just make things, and I do like the feeling of achievement when a drawing is done. Just stepping back, taking a look at it when it's completely done, and then thinking about and realizing what you've created, and then just going from there, because I really have no idea what to expect before I started drawing. Sometimes some may have a drawing planned or will have an idea in their head, but for the most part, I just grab the pen and I just start making some lines on the paper. I don't really worry too much about the end result. I just draw. I'm focused on what I'm drawing, and that's it. I'm not sure if you can hear the wind. Kind of depends on how the audio is after I edit this, because I do noise cancellation, which takes out all the sounds from around me, and so because of that, you might not hear the wind, but we'll see. The apartment that I do live in, I do notice that air tends to come underneath all of my windows. Like, they're sealed, and they've got like this rubber seal on the bottom. It's completely flush against the wood, and it's completely smooth, and there's no broken parts of it, but yet there's still cold air coming from under the windows. So I pushed on the window some, and it didn't seem to come out as much, but I don't know, it's kind of the way it's locked into position. But yeah, this sketchbook, I've only gotten a couple pages done in it. There's probably let me look here. There's how many pages? 90 pages. It's A5 GM at 90 pages. So this will take a while to complete, because a lot of these drawings take, I don't know, maybe 2 hours each on average to complete. My Rotring Isograph drawings take longer, but they're more detailed. So the amount of detail that I would have to do with a different type of pen would actually take longer. It's just that I can add more little details here and there with the technical pens, being that the line width is always consistent and always the same. And so when I'm drawing, I always end up with the same line, so I'm not really worried about the end result of how it's going to look. I can just focus on drawing, and then whatever happens, and that's what I create in the doodle. Yeah, I enjoy doing this doodle, and I'll have many more drawings to come in the future. And comment down below, give it a like if you want to share it, but I'm going to go make myself some more food and do more doodling, so I will see you in the next doodle video, and hopefully things warm up a little bit, but we're heading into winter, so not till spring. But anyways, I will see you in the next doodle. Later.